Welcome to something I like to call bad YouTube advice. It's kind of like mean tweets, but worse. Listen, I know that there is a crap ton of information out there about how to grow and actually have a successful YouTube channel. And a lot of it's really good information, and there are a lot of experts out there. However, there's also a lot of people with a lot of opinions that really don't know what they're talking about. I see a ton of comments every day on this channel, on my videos, with people sharing advice, and sometimes that advice isn't totally founded in fact, or it's coming from someone who doesn't really know how to actually build a channel. So I wanted to debunk some of the biggest YouTube myths and some of the worst YouTube advice that you could possibly listen to or follow. And I also roped in some of my fellow experts in this space and a lot of people that I respect to share their opinions on some of the worst advice. So the first piece of bad YouTube advice comes from my friend Roberto, who I'm sure you guys know. I'll link to his channel below. He's awesome. He's been on YouTube for a long time. He's definitely an OG of the space. And he said, become a daily vlogger. And I got to agree with him. So post or vlog every day. My friend Anthony Ambrose, who's also a coach within my program and works with my clients, he said the same thing as Roberto. If you're posting a video every single day, that's awesome. That's a lot of work ethic that you have, but if your videos are crap, no one cares and still no one's gonna watch them. If you're posting amazing, valuable, entertaining, or inspirational videos every single day, yes, that's gonna be awesome, but the regular creator who's doing this totally solo, it's the fastest way for you to burn out if you're trying to post something on a daily basis. So my biggest piece of advice to you is to focus on quality, not quantity. You want to post videos that are going to be jam-packed with one of those things, either inspirational, educational, or entertaining. But if you're focusing on things that are searchable, like I said, it's how you're going to get found on YouTube in the beginning and how you're going to start building that audience. So you don't have to buy into posting every day or vlogging every day. It's going to be really, really hard for you to grow that way. Now, myth number 2 is that you have to have the best gear ever. That's definitely not true. There are a lot of people who started their YouTube channels with webcams or iPhones. You have a really great camera available to you if you have any kind of a smartphone. So you can start using that. I'm a prime example of that. I started with the Logitech C920 webcam for my first year on YouTube, and I used a stack of books as my tripod. So it's so much more about putting valuable content out there that's going to make an impact on people and make them want to follow you, subscribe to you, than it is about having the perfect lighting, the perfect gear. Because I would actually love to know, can you guys guess what kind of camera that I'm filming on today? Do you know what kind of equipment that I'm using? Or do you just know that it looks great? So you guys aren't sitting there really dissecting the kind of equipment or camera that we're using. You're sitting there thinking, I want to learn this information. So when you're first starting out, that's the most important piece of getting started on YouTube. And then the great thing is, once you start to grow and you start to build an audience and you start to build revenue, you can watch my videos on how to use YouTube to build your business. Then you can start investing in gear and editing and videographers and people who are experts at their craft. But in the beginning, it's really hard to start with all the fancy stuff, especially if you aren't making any money or have the budget to invest into it. Myth number 3 is that you have to perfect things like SEO and your tags. And you're probably thinking, but you talk about that all the time. I do talk about it all the time, but it has to be relevant to your video. So Tim Schmoyer, who is, again, an OG in this space, he tweeted back at me and he said that this was his biggest myth and that people talk about this all the time. His tweet said, the reason your channel isn't growing is because you're doing tags wrong. You also need to add them to your video's file name before you upload, and then repeat your keyword a lot in the video to convince Google via captions that it should rank for #1, and so many others. What Tim means by that is that yes, SEO matters to a certain extent. Yes, tags matter to a certain extent. But again, if your content isn't great, if your content isn't relevant to the tags, and if your content's not being made in a way that's actually going to create any impact or is good quality content, then the tags don't really matter. Number 4 is start with a bank of videos on your channel. I think I get asked this question almost every single day. I believe in quality over quantity, and the most important factor of YouTube is that when you post a video on YouTube, you're driving as much traffic to that video as possible, particularly in the first couple of days, because that is going to show YouTube that it's a quality piece of content that they should be pushing out and suggested in search and getting in front of your audience on the homepage or wherever it might be. If you put up a bank of content, that's hard content that you've put time and effort into making, and you're kind of just throwing it up there as a library, but that's not what YouTube should be used for. It's not a library, it's a publication platform. I don't think you need to have that bank. I think it's about creating one video at a time, publishing one video at a time, and distributing one video at a time. Number 5 is be controversial. And I actually saw this piece of advice on one of my Instagram posts recently. And it was someone saying, I'm not even gonna show the comment because it's a waste of time and space, to be completely honest with you. It was someone saying, well, in order to grow on YouTube now, the only way to do it is to be controversial. Okay, sure. If you want to be controversial and if you want to do something crazy, yes, it's going to garner some kind of an audience, but is it really the audience you want? And what's the intention behind creating that content? We can look at so many big examples, and I'm sure you know who I'm thinking of right now, that have gone down that controversial path and it hasn't really served them well. And it tarnishes your credibility, your reputation, and more than that, it probably doesn't align with your moral compass, and you're getting out of alignment just because you want views. And at the end of the day, that's a sacrifice that I'm not gonna be willing to make, and I don't know if you are either. So being controversial, sure, it's gonna work for some people. It might garner you viral success, but is it going to make you proud? That's my opinion on it. I don't ever wanna have to compromise who I am and what I believe in to gain notoriety. Now, these are my 5 YouTube myths, or the worst pieces of advice that I've heard about YouTube, but I would love to hear from you. Put in the comments below the bad YouTube advice that maybe you tried to follow or that you bought into that you know just doesn't really work. Because what I would love to do is educate people through this channel, through this video, through the comments, to make sure that you aren't doing the wrong stuff that's gonna take your time and attention away from doing the right stuff that's actually going to help you. So thanks to my friends and my fellow experts in this space who gave such valuable tips and info and helped me debunk a few of these myths. There are a lot of them out there, so let's just try and stop as many as we possibly can. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe for new videos every single Tuesday, and again, comment with your bad YouTube advice below, and we might just turn this into a series. Let me know if you enjoyed it that much, and we might do another video just like this. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.